Hello, my name is Dr. Van Brunt, and my current role, I'm a part-time consultant in CPS HR, like Jacques, as well as working full-time at DPrep, Disaster Preparation, a company in Sacramento and Folsom out in California, with offices really all across the country. Our work primarily is in the safety division, looking at behavioral intervention, mental illness, issues of DEI, issues of gender equity, identity, expression, all of these different ideas, and behavioral intervention and care and threat team work. Bringing us all together, one of the nice things about the experience is really, again, some of the intersectionality between the different roles that I've also had in my life. Being a therapist for quite some time, I worked with kids initially, doing child and family therapy with real little ones who had been through some pretty rough sexual abuse and physical abuse at very young ages. From there, I worked with adolescents. I worked in a couples, marriage, and family therapy work, and then moved over to emergency services, doing what we call in California 5150 evaluations. In Massachusetts, where I did these, they were called Section 12s or pink slips. In our lovely state of Florida, we call them the Baker Act. So each state has a slightly different name for these involuntary commitments. But that was my beginning, I think, in addition to the outpatient therapy work, to doing emergency services and threat work. From there, I did some work at the Department of Mental Health in Lynn, Massachusetts, working with folks who were in some pretty serious mental health crises in terms of needing management, often outside of the home. From there, I got involved with college students. So I happened to be living in Henniker, New Hampshire, the only Henniker on earth. I believe that's still true. And was a therapist in town. And New England College, the dean came to me and said, "Hey, you're seeing some of our college students. We've lost our counselor. They moved somewhere else. Would you be interested in becoming a director of counseling?" And I said, "Why, sure." And that began a great career as a director of counseling at New England College, to be followed by my time at Western Kentucky University, where I learned how to say "bless your heart" and "all y'all" and making pictures and all the lovely Southern phrases that I became to love. I am at this point still unable to palate sweet tea. I believe strongly that that has to be introduced at the baby level to really develop an appreciation for it. But I did find myself loving the South. Is Kentucky still the South? I think it is, right? It's close enough. From there, I worked with a company called the Encurm Group and was the president of NABITA, as well as a short presidency with the American College Counseling Association. So I worked in that space as well, and really helped develop the NABITA organization and taught with ATICSA that did Title IX work, and NABITA primarily bit and care work. I took a break from that just about 3 years ago, worked for a company called SCN, doing instructional design, and it was kind of a para law enforcement organization that did protective work for the Jewish federations across the country. So very much enjoyed developing programs for them, teaching very senior federal law enforcement officers how to more effectively communicate and teach in the classroom setting and in synagogues and Chabads and all the places that they found themselves, teaching situational awareness and run, hide, fight, stop the bleed, and other programs that were important to keep the Jewish community safe. Then I returned full time to consulting. So here we are, having put together, I think, an excellent book. And part of the mission, I would say, for this webinar series is the creation of, and maybe just having an awareness of, people learn differently. And some people love books. Some people love listening to books. Some people love reading books. Other folks love to watch a dialogue about a particular topic. So our commitment to you is to really go through the chapters of the book in a more kind of live, interactive session, helping prepare folks to find themselves as faculty, as staff, as orientation leaders, as resident directors, in a space where they're asked to guide a conversation on some of the really difficult things that we're seeing occurring across the country right now, the tensions, the divides. And we felt like these individuals needed some preparation, needed a map. Dora the Explorer, they needed a map to be able to know where they were going, know where some of the minefields are, and to be able to guide these conversations a little more effectively, whether it's students, faculty, staff, colleagues within the HR space, or wherever it may apply. So for me, that's really my take on the importance of this course, and why we're doing it and what the purpose was. Um,